Data resilience has continued to morph over the last 20 plus years. Today, we are seeing a new evolution as to what it means to ensure that data is protected, resilient, and accessible. Hi, my name is Steve Keniston, and I am a Global Market Development Executive for IBM for the Spectrum Storage software portfolio. Now, it used to be that when businesses thought about data resilience, they thought about data recovery. Today's data resilience is all about ensuring that your business is resilient and your data is available and accessible. And since data is the lifeblood of your business, is your data resilient? Let's explore this evolution of data resilience. Now, for the most part, I believe that we all understand what data is and have come to understand that it has become the lifeblood of our business. It drives what we do, how we do it, and our competitive edge. Resilience, on the other hand, while the term does have a specific definition, that definition, I have found throughout building this presentation, can take multiple paths. Resilience means having the capacity to quickly recover from difficulties, but also the need to be flexible. It stands to reason that data resilience is recovering from any difficulty businesses may face when it comes to a data impact or data loss, such as a corrupt file, natural disaster, or cyber attack. But data resilience also means having the flexibility to have the right access to the data such that the business can get done what it needs to as well. So how resilient should you architect your environment? Much like every conversation in IT, when it comes to infrastructure and technology, you need to apply the "it depends" rule. Resilience, in the case of IT, is also about flexibility as well as toughness. It is important to keep in mind that the most resilient data center may not meet the needs of businesses because data is inaccessible or doesn't foster a competitive business model. Businesses today need to design for resilience, but also make sure that the business can securely access the data that they need. Also, these conversations also start to circle around budget and the different technology capabilities that it can provide for the right kind of resilience. Based on this, let's review a practitioner's best practices and technology capabilities that enable businesses to intelligently and thoughtfully understand how they can make the right decision to protect the business for the right cost. Now, compounding challenges cause numerous data resilience issues. First, the number of ways in which data can be created creates the need to make sure that you have the right solution to protect and manage each data type. And because there are now more ways to create data, more data is being created, leading to exponential data growth, which in itself creates numerous challenges. This in turn drives requirements on how data is stored in order to sufficiently and efficiently be able to meet regulatory needs as well. All of this drives complexity in the number of tools needed to protect and store the data, as well as the kind of skills needed to manage the data. All this complexity is the exact opposite of simplicity, and it takes time, which in turn drives higher cost, meaning higher CapEx and higher OpEx. When you combine these challenges with the current market trends that include the increase in cyber threats, the need to utilize the cloud for more IT workloads, or the creation of new ones with containers, it is causing the need for new infrastructure decisions to be made that lead to data resilience decisions. Customers want to know that their data is resilient no matter where it lives or how it is created. Additionally, customers want to automate as much of their data resilience practices as possible. Data resilience, while critically important, is yet another task IT doesn't have many cycles to manage, so to automate where possible is helpful to their success and relieves a lot of their stress. In every case, it's causing businesses to think about where and how they are spending their money on their business. When IBM talks about modern data protection or modernizing your data protection environment, this conversation goes beyond just the software that drives the primary data to the device for protection. IBM takes the entire environment into account in order to help solve all of the data recovery and data reuse needs. This includes software such as Spectrum Protect, Spectrum Protect Plus, and Spectrum Copy Data Management, as well as where the data lands, such as IBM Systems, IBM Tape, Spectrum Scale, IBM Cloud Object Storage, or IBM Cloud. Each of these pieces are designed to provide the right type of resilience at the right cost. IBM solutions are built with these objectives in mind: the ability to provide protection and reuse for all businesses' diverse set of workloads, the ability to meet all service level agreements surrounding businesses' data, and the ability to provide all of this in a very cost-efficient manner. IBM solutions are designed around simplicity, efficiency, and security for all your workloads and designed to lower cost while meeting all of these business needs. This presentation is focused on Spectrum Protect. This presentation is focused on IBM Spectrum Protect Plus. One of the key solutions in IBM's modern data protection portfolio is Spectrum Protect Plus. Just recently, IBM has made a few announcements around its latest version, 10.1.8, that has increased Protect Plus's scale, has some database enhancements, and increases our capabilities with containers and Kubernetes. Spectrum Protect Plus is an enterprise-proven solution that provides data protection as well as data reuse for multiple reuse use cases, including analytics, reporting, DevOps, and more. Originally designed for virtual environments, Spectrum Protect Plus supports VMware and Hyper-V and a host of application environments agentlessly, including Microsoft SQL, Oracle, DB2, Mongo, and Exchange on either virtual or physical servers, and even in Amazon Web Services, AWS. Spectrum Protect Plus is also the foundation with rich integration into Kubernetes and Red Hat OpenShift. While the primary use case for Spectrum Protect Plus is data protection, it can also back up your data for you and make it useful with its data reuse capabilities that include DevOps, reporting, analytics, and much more. Why do we think Spectrum Protect Plus is a modern solution? There are a number of key reasons. The solution is low cost, making it easy to acquire and simple to deploy, which helps produce immediate return on your investment. The solution has an intuitive user interface, making it a solution that is easy to manage and lowers your operational expense. Protect Plus has what we call a proactive backup catalog. This helps to automate the backing up and tracking of all your data copies without having to think about it. Spectrum Protect Plus provides instant access of its backup data for both operational recovery and reuse purposes, keeping downtime to a minimum. The solution is software-defined, providing clients the greatest flexibility and allowing them to leverage investments they may have already made in their backup infrastructure. Spectrum Protect Plus provides secure roles-based access controls, enabling it to provide secure self-service capabilities to departments that need access to their data. Protect Plus also provides automation and orchestration that enable not only SLA-based protection, but the ability to provide templates to recover data where and when needed outside any disaster. And when combined with these RESTful APIs, teams can orchestrate data reuse needs needed for applications such as Chef and Puppet. Now, if we had to pick 6 key attributes for Spectrum Protect Plus that provide the highest business value, they would have to be, as we've already mentioned, the proactive backup catalog. Traditional backup catalogs only catalog data when the backup job is run. In this model, it is easy to have a lot of things not be backed up. If a system, virtual machine, or application gets created and no one tells the backup team, then the data doesn't get protected, and this could be catastrophic. With IBM Spectrum Protect Plus, after it is installed, the applications or VMs are registered with the data protection application, and after that is done, Spectrum Protect Plus knows all about all of the data in the environment and shows you what is and isn't protected. This helps to reduce the overall OpEx and better protect the data. The design of the solution is modern and simple. It makes the deployment and management very simple. On the deployment side, there are no agents, which reduces the impact on IT, not for just initial employments, but for upgrades as well. The solution provides secure self-service that is so easy to use, even users can manage it, and that reduces the impact on IT. This simplicity reduces the overall operational expense on IT and significantly lowers the overall IT budget. Data resilience efficiency is built into the software. The software provides deduplication and compression right out of the box. No special devices are required to get the overall storage efficiency savings that are required in today's data protection solutions. Also, as mentioned, the near instantaneous recovery of the data helps keep the business running when data is lost or when data is needed for analytics, reporting, or DevOps. This instantaneous recovery lets businesses move at the speed they need to in order to stay competitive. Spectrum Protect Plus is integrated with many solutions, especially cloud solutions, from IBM to Amazon Web Services to Azure. Spectrum Protect Plus can protect on-premise and push data for long-term retention to the cloud or protect specific cloud-based applications. And with the newly added container data protection, the business can rest comfortably knowing that their data is protected no matter where it lives, removing any risk. And finally, the capabilities of being able to write data to a cyber-resilient data repository, such as tape to obtain a true air gap, or IBM Cloud Object Storage with immutable storage so that the business can feel safe knowing that their business is well protected. Data availability and data access are key these days for multiple business purposes. Data reuse is all about maximizing the access to your data when you need it for multiple business needs. First, there are traditional reasons why you back up, to have a copy of the data to be able to recover the business. This includes all data threats such as loss or corrupt data, natural disasters, and as well as the recent ransomware or malware attacks. Then there is the bigger issue of disaster recovery. Not only is there typically an additional copy of data made, but this copy is also intentionally put off-site, sometimes way off-site, in order to protect the business in the event of a natural disaster, such as a hurricane or a flood. And some would say that even cyber attacks are a disaster. Finally, there are new data reuse use cases such as test dev, DevOps, or reporting for new regulations such as GDPR, analytics, or even things such as patch management. At the end of the day, any reason why a line of business may need access to a copy of their data to get their job done is considered a data reuse use case. The nice thing about each of these use cases is that the data flow is very similar. The process of taking a copy of the data, securely landing it on a storage device, and being able to utilize the data for any business processes is the same. New capabilities such as those in Spectrum Protect Plus ensure that the processes for data access is extremely easy and saves you time and money. The IBM approach to data resilience is focused on four main topics, and we call these the 4 C's. First is convergence. Now this convergence is helping us to pull together all of the solutions in the data resilience portfolio to drive even more simplicity for protecting a customer's entire environment. Next is cyber. We are focusing to make sure that your environment is as protected as it can be from any form of cyber threat. Next is cloud. As more and more customers have multi-cloud as a part of their overall business strategy, IBM wants to make sure that we are helping clients achieve that goal, whether it be protecting applications in the cloud or utilizing the cloud as a data repository. And finally, the next evolution in computing is containers, and IBM is at the forefront of making sure that we are the container resilience strategy of choice for customers. As I mentioned, convergence is all about simplicity. Pulling together the data resilience products in the portfolio to have commonality about not only where data is stored, but how the products are bought and implemented are just as important. At any juncture we can create simplicity among our products, we are looking to do so. Each product in our data resilience portfolio has some special capabilities that we call out to help ensure with the resiliency of your environment. Now we have categorized these into 3 types of security: identity security, administrative security, and data security. And for Spectrum Protect, we have bit level security, And for Spectrum Protect Plus, we have container level security. You can see the various types of capabilities for each segment. Now, the way you read this wheel is that on the left, we call out the different types of security, and there is an icon for that type of security. At the center of the wheel, you can see these icons, and this wedge of pie aligns with the types of resiliency we have for that type of security. Now, just like our safeguarded copy solution provides a simple way to recover your business quickly from a snap copy, Spectrum Protect Plus is a snapshot solution that is able to protect data, containers, VMs, and applications, and provide very fast recovery in the event of an attack. With Protect Plus, you can take advantage of many SLA options to create snapshot copies of production data based on a time interval or a number of copies. Next, when recovering from a cyber attack, you have the ability to select from the Protect Plus catalog a series of recover points and provide those to a number of people who can simultaneously recover these recover points in an isolated network so as not to infect clean data in order to find uninfected data. Should the team not be able to find an uninfected snapshot, these test snaps can be quickly torn down and the next set of snaps can be tested. You can utilize an iterative process with Protect Plus's catalog to find a recovery point that is not infected. Now, after finding the snapshot version that is clean, migrate the clean data recovered from the snapshot back into production in minutes. A valuable thing to point out with Spectrum Protect Plus is that the data from the Spectrum Protect Plus snapshot can also be stored on immutable storage or sent to Spectrum Protect and offloaded to tape for a true air gap to protect it from cyber threats. Now, when it comes to data resilience in the cloud, Spectrum Protect Plus plays multiple roles. First, data that is created in the cloud needs to be resilient. Cloud providers will tell you that the primary storage where data is stored is quite resilient. It utilizes geodispersal to make sure that the data isn't lost. However, in order to be able to recover that data in the event that it is needed between deletions, for example, it must be protected. Additionally, as we called out earlier, the cloud can be used as location for data storage. Here we show how Spectrum Protect Plus can utilize the cloud. This diagram is the overall architecture of how Spectrum Protect Plus works in a container environment. The Spectrum Protect Plus server is deployed as a virtual appliance or as a containerized application in an OpenShift cluster. An operator is used for deploying the containerized SPP server. The Backup as a Service or BaaS agent is deployed using Helm 3 into each cluster requiring protection. During a backup operation, a data mover is automatically deployed into the application namespace requiring protection. One thing to note is that the vSnap server is not containerized today and must reside outside the Kubernetes OpenShift cluster. Spectrum Protect Plus also utilizes Velero, an open source snapshot tool used to protect etcd data. Spectrum Protect Plus SLAs are created and used to control the creation of in-place storage snapshots of the persistent volumes associated with the namespace or label. These snapshots can be utilized for rapid recovery in the existing cluster. Spectrum Protect Plus SLAs can also be configured to copy the latest snapshot into a vSnap repository. The snapshot is copied to the vSnap server using the Protect Plus data mover. These copies can be used for rapid recovery, data reuse, and long-term retention in the same or different Kubernetes cluster. Once the data is in the vSnap, the same policies can also move the data to a remote vSnap for recovery in other clusters for reuse use cases such as DevOps in remote areas, and it can also be copied to a vSnap via S3 to other data pools for safekeeping or other disaster recovery, cyber resilience, or long-term data retention purposes. Now, there are a few new things in Spectrum Protect Plus. First, we have continued enhancing environments which SPP supports. We have made a number of enhancements around Kubernetes and OpenShift, along with keeping up to date with versions of Red Hat and CentOS. We have made some improvements to our database support to provide more granular control over things like Oracle log retention and the ability to disable log backups for ad hoc backups of databases. We have also added the ability to have exclude lists for Hyper-V and improve the scalability for the Protect Plus product for both number of VMs we can manage with a single Spectrum Protect Plus instance and also the number of Microsoft 365 users. Now, from a data flow perspective, we wanted to lay out how Spectrum Protect Plus works. First, it can be installed on a hypervisor on-prem or in the cloud, and it can be installed as a container. SPP talks via software APIs to OpenShift, VMware, Hyper-V, Microsoft 365, or applications on physical servers. It creates a copy of data in the vSnap repository that can be copied to multiple locations, including some locations via S3. Data can be reused in any of these locations, including the cloud, for any data reuse use cases. Combine this level of granularity and flexibility with the fact that Protect Plus provides roles-based access for secure self-service, making it a solution that anyone in the organization can use. Now, customers like to provide IBM with feedback on our existing data resilience solutions, or they have made requests that they would like to see at what stage their RFE or request for enhancement is at in the process of becoming a capability in the product. The links provided here provide the ability to either create a new request for enhancement, track one that has already been created, or browse the ones that have been submitted and vote on them in order to increase their priority. In addition, customers can become an influencer of the product or become sponsor users. To do this, select the influencer link, and this entitles customers to have access to features before they are released, evaluate how new features meet your business needs, influence designs and product direction, interact directly with product teams, collaborate with IBM experts and other users, become an IBM reference customer, and share your success. This provides you with a stake in the success of the product portfolio and hence your business success. IBM's data resilience solution provides customers with resilience via a virtual appliance and agentless architecture that enables fast deployment and easy maintenance. IBM has the broadest workload support that unifies data backup, recovery, replication, and reuse for physical file systems, VMs, databases, Microsoft 365, SAP HANA, and containers. IBM's objective is to help automate data lifecycle management, including operational data recovery, data replication, and data retention, and provide global search to help with that cycle of finding and recovering data as quickly as possible. Now, as stated in the beginning of this presentation, IBM provides the most efficient and scalable data protection solution in the market to meet all of your service level agreements from a recovery and retention standpoint that also helps maintain your costs. All of it wrapped up in a truly software-defined approach. IBM enables multiple solutions on the target side of data protection in order to help you with cyber resiliency as well. Again, my name is Steve Kenniston, and I want to thank you for your time to listen to this latest presentation on Spectrum Protect Plus and the latest announcements made to the solution. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out.